Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We are rejoining our crew out here at Kawaii Potato Station. Just a little bit of work to do. We need to get Dory out of the cargo bay and successfully dock to the station. So our pilot from the Nemo and former lunar crew is going to EVA on over very carefully, although I'm quite certain she's ready to be done with this dumb mission and go on home. And there is her ride. So I'm sure she's pretty eager to get this mission over and done with. Alright, we're just going to float on over here. Maybe adjust our camera view a little bit. Yeah. Alright, there's the hatch. Please don't bounce. Grab. Board. Bingo. Alright, so just a little bit of fuel transferring needs to be done. Make sure Dory is, she doesn't need to be fully fueled, but evenly fueled would be great. I did all of that off camera to save you all the silliness of watching me move fuel around. So, decouple node, and yeah, this is still the station. So, switch it over. There we go. RCS on, our SAS is on. Oh boy. Okay, fuel's open. Are we moving? Alright, that's that way. Control from here, maybe? Up at the top. Thank God there's no range safety on these. I'm sure it would have blown something up by now. Alright, so we were in fact controlling from here. Are we... Might be a little stuck. Oh, sorry, Dory. We're just gonna scrape the nose a little bit. Oh boy. Yeah. Double check. Okay. Alright, so maybe putting all the fuel in the cockpit, which I thought was kind of at the dead center and would be thus a good idea. Apparently not. We're a little off balance, and that's causing some very interesting listing. So we're just gonna go back and forth, wiggle it a little bit. Yeah, sorry about the paint. Please don't beat me. Okay. Clear the cargo bay. Thank God. And we're just going to make sure we don't also smash into the cupola. That would be bad times, and bring ourselves over. You can see the differences now pretty clearly between Nemo and Dory as far as thruster placement. Dory also the quad engine version using 4 AJ10 118Ks. So hopefully that burn to the moon from Earth orbit won't be so excruciatingly painful. We'll also make sure to stage in said engines next time so that we don't have to spin dry the crew on the way out there. And as you can notice, there is one other glaring problem with this that needs to be remedied post-haste. We're just going to get ourselves into a nice parking spot. Let's set our target, just because otherwise I might forget. Yes, glaring problem. The logo. This does not need to have a Cosmonaut crash flag, because this was not built by me. This was built by Wookied Industries, so we're going to take a quick save here. There we go. And just to make sure we can find this. Nope, not, yes, Dory. Not the other thing. Alright, pause. And we're going to make some very quick changes over here in our quick save file. First, we'll find Dory. There she is. And then find flag. Probably not this one. This one at the crew cabin. Find next. Let's just make sure. Oh no. Mark II inline cockpit. Yep, because it's got the flag decal. That's the one we're looking for. And right back out here. Now we're going to F9 to load said quick save. This will only take a couple of seconds. Loading back in. Boom. Excellent. And just like that, the Cosmonaut crash flag has been scraped off the hull to reveal the actual Wookiee logo underneath it. Sorry about that. Oversight in the VAB as usual. I'm kind of notorious for these things. All right, anyway, control from here on the docking port, and we'll start to pull ourselves in for a nice, clean, paint scrape-free docking. So I've gone ahead and sped this up, even though this was a relatively painless docking, actually completely painless, because actual time and actual care was put into developing this vehicle, and the balance of its RCS thrusters, unlike anything I've really done. So we'll pull ourselves around to the port, kind of line ourselves up. Let's get rid of some of that. Spin ourselves around to make sure that we're not, I don't know, I don't think we can ding the cupola. No, certainly not. But parking it this way just looks better. Kind of satisfies my inner OCD. A little off from the port. Just a quick bump to align it. But again, yeah, the fuel was a little unbalanced. And then pull ourselves in. Beautiful. And the Dory is now in place alongside Nemo. Roughly doubling the size of this waypoint station. You know, oh well. Alright, well, we've just got a few resources to transfer over. Oh, those are almost empty. So actually, we might not be depositing as much fuel this trip as I had thought, but that's nothing new, I suppose. These tanks represent the fuel we need to get home safely, air quotes. So I'd like to have them filled before we start doing anything else, although we will be dropping off, I guess, what is a not insignificant bit of life support. I think we have fuel here currently for one more outbound trip to Tremonia Station. Of course, Tremonia Station has no fuel on board for which to send them home, so that will be the first bit of resupply that will happen, as well as getting some life support supplies down on the surface of the moon so that we can resume operations there. Alright, and that's it for that tank. Let's go ahead and lock this one open, just to make sure. Oh boy. Yeah, we're probably a little overbalanced on our Aerozine 50. Some of that we can probably shift around. Wow, maybe we're not depositing any fuel at all. This is our other backup, which will drain quite readily, and I'm almost certain that our nose cone tank will be empty. No big deal there. Just based on the levels of everything else. Oh, we have this tank empty, this tank empty, this tank empty. So yeah, no fuel for which to deposit. We can probably at least top off some life support supplies, perhaps. Yep, that went the wrongest of wrong ways. Yeah, blink, 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 and it's done. We'll lock that open. Some of this, I imagine, we could get rid of. We do have, but I mean, 18 in the cockpit, and 750 down here. So we'll get rid of what's in the cockpit first, because it's the more sizable amount. All right, so, stop. 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 I mean, 327, basically, I think we'll need a couple of days. We'll leave them docked until we're sure that we can make our burn for deorbit. So we can actually probably go a little lower on all of these figures just to see. Hey, why not? Okay. Sure thing there. And I think that is really all that we have to spare, although I was planning on moving some of these crates over. just to have crates for stuff, but we'll probably do that before it's time to deorbit. Make sure our fuel cell... Not enough liquid oxygen, really? Oh, that's interesting. Our liquid oxygen is gone, so our fuel cells are not running. How's our electric charge looking? Draining. Not particularly great, but I guess we can open up some of these solar panels here. We could also rotate the station, although I don't really want to do that with the shuttle docked. Seems like it's not the smartest idea. I don't know if these two panels are going to be enough. Well, you know. There we go, charging. Perfect. Thanks, Nemo. Well done. Very well done indeed. I'll take it. Alright, and now with everything appropriately logoed, should just verify that this is a thing. Just so we can see all the appropriate logos here. Alright, we're going to move on to do some other very, very interesting stuff, let me tell you. Those other more interesting things are not actually all that interesting. We are rejoining our Venus station, as it is making this absolutely massive course correction to, one, get anywhere close to Venus, and to be on a nice intercept course for it. Now, interesting story. When I initially loaded this craft up, it was discombobulated and sighted itself in many weird ways. Reloading wouldn't really save it, so it did take some sneaky editing of the save file, basically copying in a craft file from before it left Earth SOI into the most recent save file to get it to not be discombobulated, which went eventually it went pretty well, but not without its hazards, and this maneuver certainly wasn't without its own interesting things. This was kind of like I set it and then walked away, which of course led to more than a few game crashes. Well, actually just one, and it happened right around here. So we reloaded the vessel, bring it back up to speed, and then I have to replot the node because since the game crashed, it reset said maneuver node, but I replotted for something that was actually a little bit more efficient than what we had before, because I think I plotted that node on a live stream and couldn't really pay attention fully to everything that was going on around me. And since we only have one ignition left on this HG3, and I would really like to save it for orbital insertion, all of this had to be done entirely on RCS, which took way more fuel than it had any actual right to do. Really, had I just taken the time to upgrade the HG3 to the B variant that has 5 ignitions, we would not be in this boat. We would have made very quick work of a rather insubstantial maneuver node. We would have saved ourselves a lot of fuel for our capture and orbital maneuvering stage, and we would have moved on with our lives. I probably would have done it right then on the live stream just to save the time and the effort for later, but, you know, knowing that we had to do it on RCS, and I really didn't want to spend the next 90 minutes holding the H key, so instead I've just deactivated the engine and used the throttle, and tried many different methods to get this thing to hold the node in time warp. It just did not want to cooperate with me. Nothing about this station really wants to cooperate. It's been cursed from the beginning. The first one disassembled itself on launch. This one tried to discombobulate itself on orbit and then blow itself up more than a few times. And, yeah, well, this mission's going real well. I really can't wait to send a crew to this cursed hunk of junk so that we can see what other very interesting problems it decides to come up with for us. It'll be an adventure for everyone, except the poor unlucky bastards who actually have to get stationed on this terrible death trap. Now, the big problem that we're seeing now is we are coming in, well, on the correct orbit of Venus, but our periapsis kind of lines up with our supply pod's apoapsis, which means one of them is going to have some very serious maneuvering to do. It's probably going to be the supply pod, seeing as it has a heat shield and can just aero brake into a lower orbit, which makes a whole lot more sense than spending a whole lot of fuel. But our maneuver node is getting closer to Venus and actually comes into something fairly respectable. So that's going to do it for this episode, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later. Please work, please. Oh no. Well, I guess I pasted and not. Oh. Yeah. Well, okay, that's what happens when you're not entirely sure if you've deleted the old data, or maybe I just copied it in twice. Oh well. Alright.